Hello, lovelies. Welcome to, or welcome back to, the Dollhouse. I am your yarn host, Kira. We're getting quite a little following going, so I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for watching the video. It gives me something to do. Hopefully it gives you something to do. And, maybe I can pass something along. I actually went through a lot of whips this weekend to clear a lot of things out. Stuff that I want to finish, stuff that I haven't finished, stuff that really needs to be finished. And I kind of took a little bit of a swerve because I'm trying to be on a yarn ban. I don't want to buy any more yarn until I use more of the yarn I have. I am not a yarn collector. I am a crocheter. And sometimes I forget that. So I'm trying to go through and use up what I have and finish my whips. And I have finished the largest project I have ever done. And I'm so stupid proud of myself. This in total is probably about 12 skeins, 13 skeins. I did not keep count, which I should have. But this is a full queen size blanket. I just did a simple blanket stitch on this, which is single crochet, double crochet, skip one, and it's single crochet, double crochet in the same stitch, and then skip one, and then single crochet, double crochet in the same stitch, and then skip one. So this is all made with I love this yarn, but I hate this company. And the main color is Graybeard, and then I did a stripe of sand dune, and then the border is linen. I just did a simple half double border. I think that's a half double border. I'm still drinking my coffee today, so yeah. I think it turned out really nice, and it's huge, and it weighs a ton. And I honestly do not look forward to getting this out of a washer. But it's pretty. I love how a simple stitch can give you such definition on some of these projects. I have figured out that variegated yarn shows off the yarn, whereas a solid yarn can really show off the stitch itself. My phone thingy is falling. My phone thingy is falling. I'm gonna have to edit this out because my phone thingy is falling. Oh, crooked. There we go. Okay, there we go. I can edit that and fix it, and you won't even know what happened. As most of you know, I don't do plushies. I have a very hard time with written patterns. I have a very hard time with yarn unders. And I have a very hard time with chenille. And there's not a whole lot of yarn things that sell during the summer because it's like 110 degrees out. And nobody's thinking about blanket. So, the last couple times I've hopped on Temu, I have been perusing alternatives to blankets. And I thought these were a cute idea. This says, have the day you deserve. So, I have stupid amounts of time on my hands, and I sleep an average of 4 hours a night on a good night. So I'm on Temu at stupid hours in the morning playing the little clicky games on there. And most of the things I get from Temu are free things from the clicky games. So I figured why don't I pick something out that is actually kind of enterprising and lets me be creative? And so I got beads. I got all different kinds of beads when I started to do the pony bead blanket. And then I decided to pick up some of the big focal beads. This one says Emotional Dumpster Fire. And I'm going to put some of these up on my Buy Me a Coffee. I put it up on my Twitter a little earlier. Didn't figure I'd give them a crack at it first, because they're my Twitter peeps. But I mean, how cute is that? Honestly, really, how cute is that? So, those are gonna go up on my Buy Me a Coffee at $15 shipped. I have surgery coming up on the 17th. And we have to fix my son's car before then, or I'm not getting there. So, pushing the Buy Me a Coffee, pimping my wares. Please go buy something and help support me, or just buy me a coffee and say hi, and I'll give you a shout out on the channel. And if you have a YouTube too, let me know what your YouTube is. I'll subscribe and I'll let everybody else know too. I drink coffee for your protection. Excuse my drippy coffee mug. It's been a long night. I am hanging in there. I am doing better than expected. I got 48 minutes of sleep last night. So, things are a little weird. But, you know, it is what it is. I'll probably sneak a nap in sometime this afternoon. Now, when I've done my keychains, I have a corner to corner that I'm finishing up for one of my Twitter peeps, or his girlfriend. Finishing up a I call it Slushies and Sand. It's a Premier Cinnamon Roll Frosty in the color Limeade. So it's yellow, greens, and blue, and everything is kind of like splotchy, speckly with white drifting through it. It looks like a slush puppy, slurpy, icy, whichever brand you had when you were growing up. It looks like a frozen summertime treat. So now I'm playing with colors for the border, because I think a white border, in my brain, white borders get dirty fast. And I think the white border is going to make it a little too loud. So I said, okay, well, what if I try a linen? I know linen just looks dirty next to it. So I'm thinking maybe a light tan, a kind of, you know, light beachy sand color might work. And then I can call it beach slushies, or Slushies and Sand, or I'll figure something out. I try to name my blankets. I'm weird. I name them my blankets. I name my wraps. I just whatever name hits me. It's easier than just saying what color yarn it is, because a lot of times the name of the yarn does not tell you what color it is. Although here is where I'm going to have to put up the little Temu thing that I saved. And I will point at the camera so I will remind to put it in editing, because I understand that colors aren't always exactly descriptive. I mean, if I tell you the colorway is peacock, you will have a good idea that it's greens and purples and blues. If I tell you the color is Dalmatian, you will have a good idea that it is, you know, white and black. And I was perusing yarns on Temu, and I found meat powder colorway, and they're really not lying. looks like meat powder. If I knew what meat powder was, I would imagine it was that color. So, I mean, they're spot on. It's just, they might want to double check with their translator people. Because I don't know if people are going to buy meat powder color. I mean, I'm weird. I went out of my way to find the Bernat blanket big red splash because it looks like a murder scene. And I'm sure I can't be the only one that, like, made really loud, high-pitched noises and yelled, "Murder scene yarn," in the middle of a Michaels. Was it just me? They looked at me like it was just me. But it really looked like murder scene. I mean, you have to see it. It's huge, thick blanket chenille that's white with red and brown splotches in it. And it looks like, you know, day old crime scene. And that's what I call it my crime scene blanket. I wish I had it here to show you. It's like probably 12 videos back. Murder blanket. I'm trying to keep the brain going. I don't know how long this video is going to be, especially once I edit it down. But meat powder color. You couldn't figure out that it was like vintage rose or dusty rose. It's meat powder color. I love me some Temu. I will be the first person to admit it. And I will be the first person to say that most of the stuff I get from Temu is free from clicky games. And I have bought very little. But I keep winning stuff. So, you know, I made some keychains today with the stuff that I won from Temu. And maybe that'll help us fund the repair of the car so Mom can get surgery. Because needs it. Today's vape of the day is French vanilla cheesecake from Vapecraft, 6 milligrams. This is not a THC vape. This is my nicotine. Not that there's anything wrong with not nicotine ones. We're just not doing that right now. It's a plant. It's medicine. You don't have to like it. It's not for everybody. But it works for me. And I'm weird. I would rather buy local, buy small, buy organic than buy pharmaceutical. But that's illegal, so you can't do that. And we have dispensaries right now because Delaware just rolled out its laws on legal recreational, but they don't go into effect until the fall, and I think the fall is when they'll release the permits for retail, so we're probably not actually going to get retail until next year, maybe, if we make it to next year, as a country, as a whole. But I have my medical card, and I've been to all of the dispensaries in my area, and they're all pretty much the same, and it's just... The whole thing about the plant is that it's not mass-produced, chemical-filled nonsense like pharmaceuticals. And I'm not knocking all pharmaceuticals. I understand that without pharmaceuticals, I would not be here. There are some things that are necessary, and there are some things that become necessary because you have taken them so long. Your body says, hey, you don't have this, you're going to get sick now. Which is so unfair, because I don't think I should have to go through withdrawal if I did not have fun with my meds in the first place. but the body does not agree. And doctors, I'm a hard pill to swallow anyway for doctors that aren't used to my, you know, medical records coming with their own file cabinet. But it's hard to explain to doctors that don't know you that I am medically addicted to this and I have to take it or I'm going to get sick. Hospitals don't like hearing that. Hospitals don't care until you call your doctor and get them to call and yell at somebody. But, you know, such is our healthcare system. You know, if everything was left up to the nurses, I think everything would go a lot more smoothly, but they have enough, excuse me, pardon me, I don't generally cuss on here. They have enough crap to deal with in the first place. I might beep that out, because I know a lot of my viewers don't do the cussing thing. I cuss because I care, but I try not to. As I'm getting older, it doesn't quite have the effect that it did. When you're 20 years old, cuss words had an effect. They had an emphasis. When you're my age, it's just another word. It's just another word. But I have to be careful and I have to be politically correct. And I don't want anybody to be offended, because I'm not out to offend. If I'm out to offend somebody, I will be rather blatant about it. I am very tactless. I'm very tactless and straightforward, which is not always a good thing. So, yarn. If you should happen to need a shawl wrapper blanket, my Buy Me a Coffee is up, and I am still producing yarn goods. I am still making kitchenwares. I am still making blankets. I do have about a dozen blankets that I have to ship out to the local animal shelter. I gotta do that tomorrow, that reminds me. Maybe I'll do a video packing those up, because you guys seem to like the last one of me packing up the chaos blankets for the critters. Comfort for Critters is a great charity. It gives me something to do with my scrap yarn that's actually going to do some good. Even if it just, you know, helps a scared puppy or kitten. It helps. And the ones that I make too big, I donate to VVA, Vietnam Veterans Association. So, it all works out. Puppies and old people. I make blankets for puppies and old people. Been doing a lot of picnic blankets lately. A lot of, like, I'm gonna sit under this tree and read a book kind of blankets. They seem to be popular. That size. I don't know what size that is. You could call it a reading blanket size, I guess. I don't know. But I've been doing a lot of those size blankets. They seem to be good. I have a granny square and another blanket stitch one I'm working on, but the blanket stitch one that I'm working on is a bulky yarn, and I'm using a 14mm hook, which is not hand friendly. I have got to find some kind of, remember these squishy things that we had to put on our pencils in school? It might have been me. I was, you know, I was a teenager when the 90s hit, so maybe it was a 90s thing. I would love to find these just slightly bigger, because this is too big for my 6mm hook. And I would love to have one of these that fits on my hooks. I'll have to learn, like, pool noodle whittling or something. Figure something out. Oh, was it Still in Leather? She makes, she takes bare metal crochet hooks, and she makes ergonomic resin handles on them. I might have to check those out. She's on, I'll put a linky in the description. She's on the YouTubes. They are on the YouTubes. I don't know appropriate pronouns. They are on the YouTubes. You can't assume anymore. So they are on the YouTubes. But yeah, taking a break from the yarn today. Just trying to get some of these made. I think they turned out cute. I like them. And I think have the day you deserve is a very good sentiment. Although some days I do feel like an emotional dumpster fire. Bumblebee one. This one is just beads. Pretties. And they all have a little lobster claw on them. So technically, this could be the most ginormous stitch marker in your collection. You know, if you need a ginormous stitch marker, I got you. Let me know. KiraCrochet@gmail.com. Okay, now I'm thinking about using one of these as a ginormous stitch marker. That would be hilarious. That's funny, I might do that. I might actually do that. People look at me like I'm crazy anyway. I get out. I don't go many places, and most places I go have a waiting room, so I'll end up just sitting there and stitching along. And whatever bag I have room for yarn and a hook. So yarn and a hook is coming with me because there's never anything good to read or on the TV in a waiting room. And if there's something good on the TV in the waiting room, then the volume's all the way down and you can't hear it. And I don't lip read well. So I bring the yarn. It's entertaining. It's something to do while you're waiting. And it makes people look at you funny if you don't look like you're a crocheter. Which I didn't know there was a look. But I've had people say, you don't look like a crocheter. Although, my son's turning 30 this year, and I've had people say, you don't look like a mom. My mom always said that to me. My mom said, when are you going to start looking like a mom? I'm like, the kid's almost 30. If I don't look like a mom yet, I'm not going to. My parents were old-fashioned. My parents didn't do any of the, you know, big obnoxious piercings and tattoos and stuff. I do. It's not for everybody, but it's for me. So I'm happy with it. As soon as I stop this video, I'm going to think about 5 more things that I wanted to say. But right now, I just don't have that. So, I think that's it. I'll try to be back for the Comfort for Critters pack up. I'll let you see my slushy blanket once it's done. If you need a keychain or any kind of yarning goodness, you know, you can check out the website. There's a shop tab up at the top to see all the stuff I have for sale. Or you can just buy me a coffee and say hi. I'll give you a shout out in my videos. Do the coffee of the day. Whoever buys the coffee of the day, I will give a shout out to in my videos. Or just, you know, like everybody else, just trying to eke on by, and I'm more worried about the car. Paying for the car. Surgery is gonna hit us hard in the expenses, but more worried about paying to get the car fixed so I can get to surgery now. But anyhow, I'm gonna go put my wares over on Twitter and get this edited up for you guys and get it posted. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me. As always, be kind. Be kind to yourself. Sprinkle kindness like seeds. It's free, and the world needs more. Until next time. Bye, lovelies.